Well, welcome everyone. I'm really happy that you're all here to join me and those of you at home that are joining from your living rooms, bathrooms. I've actually done yoga in the bathroom, I can say.
Sitting or standing?
What? So this is an RX class, and I thought that it would be really nice to focus on the back for a change. It supports us in so many things that we do, and I think it deserves our attention. It's often forgotten because it's back there, and we don't often utilize it in the way that we need to in order for it to do the work that it needs to do really well. So we're going to be working on finding a little bit more mobility in the back, strengthening some of the back muscles themselves, but also some of the supporting muscles, and just generally bringing some more hydration to some of the ligaments and the tissue along the back and the spine. All right, so for this class, you will need either a firm blanket, like a yoga blanket that we use, or if you don't have one, those of you at home, you can use a towel, like a beach towel works really well. And a strap. If you don't have a strap, you can use a towel or anything. Like if you're at home, you can grab a long belt. Do all of you in here have something that's like a towel or a blanket, something like that? Perfect. No.
Bolster and back.
Okay. Bolster can work. For the first pose that we're going to do, if you don't have either of those props, you can just lie on your back. No biggie. And then for the other portion, I'm pretty sure you could use your bolster. I think that would work fun. Okay. So what I thought we would do to begin is we're just going to lie on our back. And so if you take your beach towel or your blanket and just kind of fold it like this, you don't want it real high. This is going to go in your lumbar spine. Okay, so right in that lower back, so it shouldn't be real high or it's going to be uncomfortable. All right, so when you lie down on this, it should just feel like it's just kind of fitting right into the lower back there. It might extend all the way up to your bottom couple ribs. And that's fine, just so long as it feels comfortable. And feel free to have your knees bent or go ahead and take your legs out long. Just kind of see how your back is feeling with this pose. And if you do feel any sense of pinching or discomfort in your back at all, then try bending your knees and see if that doesn't kind of relieve some of that. Okay. And then feel free here just to close your eyes and just take a little bit more mindful breaths here. Just taking a little bit more time on your inhale, giving yourself plenty of time for your lungs to completely fill and expand. And as you exhale, see if you can just begin to let go of your day leading up to this point. Let go of some of that old energy from the day's activities. You just want to put a little bit of space between this moment and the rest of our day. And just kind of arriving to your practice. Just relishing the simplicity of just watching your breathing, feeling your body. Just letting there be a sense of ease in your shoulders and your arms, just releasing into the earth. Your legs and your hips, just gently releasing into the earth as well. Just keep your jaw relaxed, the muscles of your face soft. If you're feeling called to in any way to set an intention for your practice, just take a few moments right here just to do that. So that might be as simple as just a feeling or a heart quality. Something you want to embody. And take one more big breath into that intention. Exhale it out. All right. Go ahead and bend your knees. I'm just going to roll onto the side, and we're going to take that rolled blanket or towel or bolster, and we're just going to slide it up. So right now what's going to happen, and you may want to make it just a little bit narrower possibly, is our shoulder blades are going to be resting on the blanket or on that towel. And if you're tender in your upper back, you're going to want it a little bit flatter. You're not going to want a real high stack again, because otherwise it's going to be, So I do mine about like that. I wouldn't say I'm very tender in my upper back, so take a moment and just try to see if you can get that in a good height. So now watch up here. We're just going to not the top of my shoulders, but just the shoulder blades will rest on that blanket or that towel or your bolster if you're using your bolster. So now you want to interlace your fingers right at the back of your head. So you're just cradling your head, and you can, for a moment here or two, shift around. It shouldn't be painful. It should just feel like a nice expansion in your chest. We're just going to let the head rest in the hands here for a couple of breaths. A nice big breath in, just kind of feeling your belly expand. Feeling your chest open, all those little intercostal muscles between the ribs, stretching and expanding. Good. And then with your next exhale, you're going to curl your chest up. You're going to stretch. You're going to hold the neck, and you're going to draw your elbows close together, as close as they'll go. So you start to feel that release. Just curl up as far as you can, and then with your next inhale, you're going to lower down, supporting the head. Let your elbows open wide, and do that again. As you exhale, curling the chest, drawing the elbows together, and feeling that stretch, your shoulder blades drawing away from one another, opening that space in the thoracic part of your spine. Inhale, coming down, elbows open. Let's do a couple more just like that. Exhale. Inhale, open. Let the back arc there a little bit. One last time. Exhale. Pulling it up. Inhale, you're going to come down again. This time you're going to keep your right elbow on the floor, and as you exhale, you're just going to twist a little bit. So the left elbow is going to move over to the right. So you can, remember, keep the right elbow on the floor. You can go as far as you want. You're going to kind of roll right over the shoulder blade. Inhale, come back down to center. Exhale, the left elbow will stay on the floor. The right elbow is going to twist, twist, twist. Keep both feet on the floor. Breathe in, coming back. Breathe out, twisting. So you got to lift the chest. Roll with that left elbow to the right. One more. So make sure you do the even amount on both sides. So 3 on each side or 2 on each side. And then come back to center and just hold your head so that your head is off the floor. You're still cradling the head. This time you're going to lift your bottom off the floor, okay? So what we're going to do is, once your bottom is floating off the floor, you're going to just, with your feet pressing into the floor, you're just going to glide your upper body back. So you're kind of shearing and pulling on the skin of the upper back. We want to pull the skin so that we can get that at that fascia tissue right below the skin surface where we hold a lot of tension. So just kind of gliding forward and back. Good. And then the next move we're going to do is you can keep your bottom off the floor, keep the head cradled. You're going to bend your whole body. So your head, shoulders, arms without twisting. You're not going to twist like this. You're just going to kind of bend yourself into a C shape going in one direction and then inhale back and you'll do that the other way. So the elbows stay wide. Breathe in to come to center, exhale to kind of twist, kind of bend yourself into that parenthesis shape, your spine coming into a C shape. Very good. And then slowly release. Come back to center. You can just kind of let the head go. Take your arms out to the side. Just take a couple of breaths here. Soften your jaw if you can. Breathe all the way in and all the way out. All right. And then from here, just take your knees to one side. Go ahead and roll yourself over to the other side. You can come up. It's really hard when I can't walk around to make sure you guys are all doing it and getting it right. We're still gonna use that bolster blanket or towel. So this time it's gonna go underneath your bottom, so right on your sacrum, right? This flat fused bone right there. If you don't have a strap, don't sweat it. You can just use your hands, all right? So what we're gonna do is you're gonna lie down. If you need to lower that, if it's too high, you don't need it real high. We just want a little bit of padding underneath the sacrum, okay? You're gonna lie down with your bottom, your hips, everything up on that blanket, that bolster. Right, just have your strap nearby if you're gonna be using a strap or a towel, okay? And then we're gonna just take the legs straight up to the sky. And just to begin with, just for fun, let's go ahead and circle the ankles, and why don't we just circle the wrists while we're at it? Because it feels really nice. These joints don't get this kind of movement a whole lot. Particularly nice for the wrists if you use a keypad or a computer for work. Go both directions. You don't have to go fast, but just focus more on range of motion. All right. You can bring your arms down. Leave the legs up, and what we're going to do is we're just going to you're going to start to shake your legs. Just kind of get them vibrating. So you just kind of almost like you're doing really short little kicks to the ceiling. And the idea is we want to get the whole, particularly your femur bone, really vibrating so that we jostle the hip socket. We want to stimulate the synovial fluid in the hip joint, hydrate the soft tissue and the ligaments around that area. Good. All right, you can bend your knees here for a moment. And now if you do have your strap, take your strap and or your belt, whatever you can use, or you can take your hands and just grab onto the back of your legs if you don't have a strap. If you do have a strap, you're going to take it just in front of your heels, and we're going to extend the legs straight up to the sky. So what you want to do is just have your ankles aligned over your hips, okay? Very similar to legs up the wall pose. Only we're going to do it with active legs, all right? So just take a few breaths here just to kind of feel the pressure of the strap coming into the feet. Spread your toes. You want to kind of anchor and ground the pelvis here, and then breathe into the back body so that you feel those back ribs kind of expanding into the floor. A sense of spaciousness in your upper back. Then we're going to slowly bend the knees in towards the chest. And then re-extend, taking the legs up into the strap. Really lengthening the back of the legs, pressing through the heels. Do that again. Breathe in, draw your knees into your chest. Exhale, extend, opening, expanding the back of the legs, just feeling the back of the knees open, the hamstrings. Do that one more time. Knees in, good, and then exhale, extending. Good, we're just gonna remove the left leg. So just bring your left foot down. You can keep your left knee bent, rest your left foot on the floor. And then once again, really here, with that right ankle right over your right hip. Stretch and lengthen, open the back of the leg. Your hamstrings are directly connected and tied into your back. So the mobility and flexibility of the hamstrings will help with all of the things that your back needs to do to support you, okay? We're gonna do the same thing, just bend the knee again into the chest. So your knee's gonna kind of move towards your right armpit, right shoulder, and then exhale, extend it up. Again, just spreading out the toes. Inhale, bending in. And exhale, lengthening, extending all the way up. Inhale. Just do that one more time after that on your own. And then just extend the leg, take one more nice breath there. Very good. I'm just going to swap that out. Let's take the left leg up, bring your right foot down, and keep the knee bent. And again, just take a moment there to really lengthen. Try to keep your back ribs on the floor, just a softness to your back body. Drawing the knee into the chest as you breathe in. Extending as you breathe out. Inhaling and exhaling. We'll do about 4 or 5 of these, just kind of pumping. We want to lubricate the hip socket and the lower back. So we're also, by putting that pressure down in the sacrum and the SI joint, we're hydrating some of that soft tissue down around the sacrum and the lower back. Good. All right, and then re-extend. Hold it there. Again, softening everywhere else. You might even roll your head from side to side a couple of times if you started to take some of this work up into your neck or your head. And slowly release. All right, just pause there for a moment. Just with both feet on the floor, you can set your strap or your belt off to the side. This is also just right here, just with a nice little support underneath your sacrum. This is a really nice pose to do at the end of the day. If you've been sitting a lot or you've been standing quite a bit, it's just a nice calming, soothing release for your back, your lower back, your hips. All right. Lift your bottom and slide your blanket or your towel and set it off to the side. Extend your left leg long in front of you, and you're going to keep your right knee bent for this one. So the sole of your right foot's on the floor, knee bent. All right. Take your right knee and just take it over to the right. Just kind of drop it out to the side. Take a breath in there. Yep. And then as you exhale, you're going to keep your foot on the floor, but you're going to take the right knee way over to the left, and you're going to let your right side of your butt come off the floor, and you're going to arc your back here a little bit. Keep the foot pressing into the floor. The knee is going to your left. And then inhale, let it come back, let it go out to the right. Just kind of drop over to the right there. Exhale, press the sole of your right foot into the floor and move that knee way over to the left. Let your back arc. Keep both of your arms on the floor. Keep both shoulder blades on the floor. Inhale. So we're going to continue to do that. Just real smooth, steady movements. We're just kind of massaging the lower back. The kidney area is getting a nice little flush there. Notice what you're feeling along the way. If it feels really nice at any one point and you want to just pause there, feel free to do that. Good. For instance, if it feels really nice when you're arcing the back, you really want to take that far. Notice how your head wants to kind of move to the right when the knee goes to the left. Just allow you to do that, just to kind of follow that natural pattern. Good. All right, come back to center, and then just take your right leg out in front of you. So both legs out straight. Notice what you're feeling there. You might have a sensation, I know I do right now, of your right leg being a little bit longer, perhaps, or perhaps you have a sensation of that, the whole leg, the back of the thigh, the hip, your buttocks on the right side, everything is just kind of releasing a little bit more evenly and completely into the floor underneath you. All right, bend your left knee. Let's do the same little movement on the left side. So start by dropping the knee to the left, just kind of opening the inner thigh, and then exhale, you press the foot. Take that knee way over to your right. Keep the foot on the floor. Just let the back arc. Good. Inhale, the knee goes out to the left. Exhale, the knee moves to the right. Your whole butt might come off the floor there as the back arcs, but just try to keep, like I said, try to keep your shoulder blades on the floor. You can just have your arms out to the side. Really just doing the work below the waist. Yeah. Just finish where you're at and then go ahead and come back to center. Take your left leg long. Notice what you notice. All right. Bend your knees. Go ahead and bring your knees into your chest and just give yourself a nice squeeze, a nice little hug. Roll back and forth a little bit left to right. All right. And then put your feet back down on the floor. So now we're going to do a little bit of movement to strengthen our supporting muscles. So your transverse abdominis, the deep layer of muscle in your abdomen, not the superficial layer that gives you the six pack, but those deep layers. You've got 3 layers of muscles there. And so these muscles, if they're weak, they're not going to do a very good job of supporting the back because your abdominis actually wraps all the way around like a girdle to your back, starting right in the front of your stomach there, okay? So these are crunches. We're going to move really slowly so we can just really feel our way through this, okay? So again, you're going to want to interlace your fingers at your back. And then you can start maybe even just by arcing the back a little bit. So just kind of lifting your belly and keep your butt down, but just kind of bring the lower back away from the floor. Take a breath in there. And then as you exhale, again, you're going to curl the chest up slowly. Press your lower back into the floor. Good. Draw the elbows towards one another. And then inhale, come down. Arc the back. Exhale, press the low back so you feel the back ribs press into the floor, the lower spine. Curl, just curl up as far as you can. And then inhale, slowly coming down. again. Get a nice little stretch there at the top, maybe holding it for a moment at the top. And then let's now add in, we're going to twist now. So as you exhale, you'll come up and you're going to bring your right elbow towards your left knee, and you're going to bring your left knee towards your right elbow. Good. And then inhale again. We're not moving fast. Arc the back as you inhale and come down. So we're doing a little bit of a counter movement. Exhale, knee to elbow. And you can switch this up each time, so you don't have to always, sometimes you want to maybe twist a little bit more, maybe cross the knee more to the other side of the body. You can really explore. But like I said, every time you come down, giving your back that little bit of moment to arc and pull away from the mat. Notice if you start to speed up. Give yourself time. This isn't a race. It seems like such a simple move, particularly when you're doing it slow. But you realize right away, it's like, wow, I really am feeling this. My muscles aren't as strong. My core is not as strong as I thought it was. Good. Let's finish. Make sure you just done kind of the same amount on each side. And then you can release your head. You can either put your arms straight out to the side, or you can put your arms into kind of a goalpost shape, if that works for your shoulders. Otherwise, just out to your side. All right. And then we're going to do some really gentle cat-cow movements just on our back. Okay. So again, as you inhale, the back will arc. So you pull the lower back away from the floor, feel your belly kind of spread and expand. You're going to notice your chin will draw towards your chest. And then as you exhale, engage your abdominals and press your low back into the floor. Your chin will naturally draw away from your sternum. Do that again. Inhale, arc the back. Exhale, round. So tucking, pressing the low back. Just a really, really gentle movement. And then you can bring your knees back into your chest once again. You can bring them close together, you can bring them wide, and we're just going to gently rock from side to side. And let your head go along for the ride. So as you roll to your right, let your head roll to the right. As you roll to the left, head rolls to the left a little bit. Just it's a really soothing move for your nervous system. Just this gentle rocking motion, just like you're just in a nice little canoe out on the water. Just being rocked gently by the waves. All right. So you can go ahead and just roll all the way over onto one side. And we're going to come on up, finally. So we are going to do a stretch for the feet. Okay, so that the soles of your feet and the flexibility in your feet, again, because of the fascia tissue and the connection to the back body, right, the lower back all the way down the hamstrings, your glutes. The mobility of your feet, the flexibility of your feet can have an effect on your back as well, your back's ability to be able to release. So you can take, if you want, a blanket or a block if you have it. Some of you are going to want to do this. You're going to curl your toes under. Don't worry, we're not going to be here a real long time. So this is what you can do if you want. If you need that little bit of extra space, if it bothers your knees to do this, go ahead and put a block there. You could even do it like this. You could do way up like that if your knees are bothered by that. And If it's excruciating, don't let it be. We don't want you in that kind of pain. So if it is, just go ahead and bring your hands down on the floor. That way you can control, yes, how much weight you are putting on your feet. Let's take a few more breaths here. Try to relax. If you're really wanting to explore another nice little stretch that you can do while you're doing this, so just take your hands and spin your fingers to face your knees, and you can get a really nice stretch for your wrists as well. This is a good one. So you want to make sure you turn your hands out and towards the knees to release the forearms, the wrists. Kind of feels like your wrists are going to break.
Whatever I'm supposed to do,
Right? Well, that's all right. You're doing it right now. That's all that matters. All right. And then slowly go ahead and you can release. If you had the hands, if you were doing that hand stretch, make a fist and come onto this part of your fist here. And then just wiggle your toes, circle your ankles. Yeah, you can tap the tops of your feet. That feel really nice too. All right, so now we're going to come into downward facing dog just for a moment. Let's open up the backs of the knees a little bit. Take it up, take it back. Again, really wonderful pose for the back. Bend your knees a little bit. That helps to take some of the pressure out of the back so that we can elongate the spine. We can elongate the back and the arms. Sometimes when the hamstrings are really tight and we try to press the legs straight in down dog, what happens is the back automatically rounds and then we lose all that gorgeous length and space that we're looking for. All right, go ahead and come back down. And we'll use that blanket or that bolster again just to sit on. And if you don't have anything to sit on, better than a bolster for this one, probably want to do, maybe just roll the back of your mat up a little bit. The bolster's probably going to be a little bit too high for what we're going to do. And you don't have to use the bolster at all. You don't have to use anything. You can actually just sit on the floor. So you're going to take your, I'll have you do your right leg first. So right leg will go kind of into kind of like a hurdler's move here with the right leg. If you want to be on the top of the foot, you can be on the top of the foot, or you can be on the side of the inside of the foot. Yeah, like that. Yep, and then left leg is just going to go to the inside of your right thigh. And if you're on the left side, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you do both sides. Okay, so then you're going to walk the knee that's bent up like this, not the one that's tucked under. You're going to walk the arms over in that direction. Your back arm here is going to be kind of like a kickstand, a stabilizer, and then this other arm here, you're going to reach. You can let your head drop down. You're going to start to feel all those muscles along the right side of your back. Back of your ribs on that right side, you're going to feel your quadratus lumborum, which are these muscles in your lower back that fan out from the spine between the ribs and your hip bone, your iliac. Just take some breaths there. Again, like I said, let your head relax and soften down and just keep that stretch, that tension along the right side body. Good. And then slowly walk the hands back. And then we're going to switch. So watch me first before you do it. I'll show you. Some of you maybe aren't going to come down that far. Depending upon how your back is feeling, you might only get to like here, right? Some of you might be able to reach a little bit longer. Okay. Just make sure that you're kind of maximizing it and you're really being kind to your body and your back. Once you're there, again, let the head just release down. Take some nice deep breaths. Notice what you're feeling. Notice where you're feeling that in the back. Try to direct your awareness, which will direct the energy from your breath into that area. So as the energy from the tissue, the muscles is released, it's able to really begin to flow. And then you can just very, very gently start to come on up. Okay. All right. So go ahead and set your blanket off to the side. Come back to your hands and knees. We're going to move back into down dog. Ready for takeoff. Go ahead. Whenever you're ready. Stretch those arms long. Press through the heels. And then look to your hands. Take a nice big breath here. And then as you exhale, we're just going to walk the feet forward up to the hands. Bring your hands onto your shins. Take a nice big breath in so you can have your knees bent here. Take a breath there. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend the knees. We're going to come into chair pose. Okay? If you have a block, it can feel really nice and it can really help to support the lower back, to squeeze, to put a block like this in between your upper thighs. If you don't have a block, don't worry about it. So watch up here. We're going to bring the arms up alongside of the ear. We want to lift the chest. Take a breath there. And then as you exhale, if this bothers your shoulders, go ahead and just take your arms up a little bit wider. We're going to keep the knees bent and you're just going to lower your spine to parallel, but you want to keep your back really straight. If your back starts to round, I want you to not go as deep. Inhale, come on up to here, to chair. Exhale, you're just going to come to parallel. Keep the spine long, the torso long, the sides of the waist long. Inhale. One more time. Again, if that bothers your shoulders, just take the arms like airplane wings out to the side. One more time, breathe in. And then, this should feel good. Straighten the legs, take the arms down. Okay, we're going to take the right leg back behind us. You can put your hand on your knee. So we're going to come onto the ball of the back foot. Now, if that feels too unstable for you, get your back foot into more of a warrior one position. So heel down, but with the foot angled towards the front. Okay? Good. So you're going to take so you've got your right leg bent, left arm up to the sky. You can just have your right hand here on your hip. Take a breath in there. So you could be there, or you could have that heel all the way up off the floor, either one. You want to anchor your tailbone towards the floor and then lengthen, elongate up from your belly button, up through the chest, up through the crown. Big breath in. Exhale, we're just going to straighten that front leg. And this is where, like, if you become unstable, just take that back heel down. Inhale. Again, really finding space here, supporting the back by driving and lengthening the lower back. Straighten the front leg. Do that again, breathing in and breathing out. One more time. Notice if your back starts to arc like this, just draw the belly button back, lengthen through the lower back. Good. And then this time, you're going to take both hands on your front thigh. You're going to slowly start to come onto the ball of your back foot. All right. Now we're going to take your time. You're going to probably want to slide your hands further up on your thigh. Step that back foot further forward, and we're going to float the back leg. Keep your hands on your thighs. Keep a little bit of bend in that right knee. So you can kind of press with your hands into your upper thigh and then float the back leg. But see if you can keep the toes on that back foot, all 5 toes pointing towards the floor. Really stretch that back leg long, lengthen the low back. Good. And then slowly come to stand. All right, move that right leg around a little bit. Maybe give it a little shake. You can even squeeze it into the chest. Okay. All right, so we're going to do the same thing left side. So we'll come into our lunge. Take your hands to the top of the knee, and your choice. You can be on the ball of the foot. Right leg is back this time. Left foot is forward. Or you can be in a warrior one position. Good. All right. So right arm is going to go up this time. Big breath in, lengthen, lots of space down through the lower back, and then exhale. The arm comes down and the front leg straightens. Inhale, exhale. Just really smooth, gentle, steady movements. Exhale. Good again. This is a good one because we're really stretching and lengthening the psoas, which runs down through the center of the hip, attaches to the lumbar spine. We want to make sure that that stays pliable and flexible. Good. Now we're going to take both hands to the thigh. Just start to lean forward to begin. Just kind of feel yourself there. And you can start to step that foot up. Get your balance. Try to maybe keep just a smidge of a bend in that left knee. Press the hands, both hands, into the top of the left thigh and use that to lengthen. So you extend out through the top of the head, chest is open, back leg is long. Keep breathing. Good. And then slowly come to stand. And again, just go ahead and just kind of shake it off. Give the legs a little shake. You might take your left knee and give it a nice little hug. Circle the ankle there. Okay. All right. And then just take your arms up. Big, big, big stretch. And again, we want to support the low back. So oftentimes when we reach up like this, you see people, they stick the butt out and really, you want to actually support the low back. So really anchor by engaging your quads, lengthening the low back, lifting the chest, and using that support. If you do bend at all, you arc a little bit through the upper back, right? So you don't even have to bring the neck back. You can just look up with your eyes and lift the chest. Good. And then exhale. Take your time. Just enjoy the journey down, all the way down, 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 down. And we're going to release here. So feel free to take your feet about hip width. You can ragdoll the arms. You can rest the back of the hands on the mat. You could even take if that's bothering your back too much, go ahead and take your elbows to knees or hands to shins. Sometimes having the hands on the shins or the ankles helps to just give you that little bit of support that you need so that you can really relax into this forward fold. Good. Bring your hands to the floor. Step your feet back all the way. Bring the knees down and we're going to come all the way to the belly. We're going to do just a little bit of work here for the back, a little bit of strengthening for the back body. So for this, I'm going to show you what your arms are going to look like. You're going to have your arms like this. So forearms will be resting on the floor. Yeah, just kind of like goalposts. And your forehead can be on the floor. We'll just call that our starting point, okay? So with an inhale, you're going to lift your arms, you're going to lift your chest and your head, but you're going to keep your neck in neutral. Just come up as far as you can. Press your belly into the floor. And exhale down. Now, if that's bothering your shoulders at all, try airplane arms, just straight out to the side. Inhale. Again, press your belly into the floor, engage the back muscles to lift up. Exhale down. The feet are wide. Inhale, belly presses. You want to hold it there for a beat or two when you get to the top, and then exhale, release. One more. Hold it, breathe. Good. And then exhale, either arms by your side or make a little pillow with your hands, rest a cheek or a forehead. Take a big breath into the back of your lungs. You feel the back of the rib cage expand, front to back, side to side. And as you exhale, maybe just let out a sigh and just let everything go there. Just feels so good. All right, bring your hands by your chest, and we're going to slowly come back into child's pose. Knees wide, knees close. If you want more support in your back in child's pose, bring the knees together so your belly is resting on your thighs. It feels a little bit different than when you have the knees wide. Whatever you choose, just be fully present, just noticing your breath. Feeling the weight of your arms and your forehead releasing into the earth underneath you. Feel your cheeks and your jaw relaxing, releasing. Just gravity taking over. Just the simplicity of this moment. Quiet sound of your breath leaving the body. All right. Go ahead and slowly make your way up. We're going to move on to our back. So feel free if you want some padding, because we're going to be here for these last couple of poses. If you want some padding, go ahead and put your towel or your blanket down on your mat. Make sure your head is supported. So take your feet, knees bent, and bring your feet out about as wide as your mat. You can move your arms out of the way. And go ahead and just drop both of your knees all the way over to the right so that you're resting on the inner edge of your left foot, the outer edge of your right. And just leave your arms out by your side. You can stretch them up overhead if you'd like. Just a really passive stretch for the hips and the psoas. It's really good for the body to do the active stretches where we're really engaged, but also to incorporate these passive stretches. So much in the same way that we don't want to always be stretching the body, the muscles, the ligaments, but we also want to be, working to strengthen and nourish and hydrate those areas as well. Good, bring the knees back to center, take the knees all the way over to the left. See how your neck is feeling. If you feel like you have some tension in your head or your neck, just gently, without lifting your head, just gently roll your head from left to right. Just allowing as best you can, just letting your thoughts drift away. Just being in that space where you're simply just aware of just the gentle feedback that you're getting from your body. Sensation of the skin, the air on your skin. Subtle sounds around the room. Bring your knees back to center. We're going to move into a twist here. And I want to kind of give you a little room for just doing what you want to do, for lack of a better word. So a couple different ways that you could twist here. Bring the knees together, keep the knees and the shins kind of stacked, and take both by bringing the knees into the chest and then just taking them over to your left side and leaving it like that. Or you could do twisted roots pose, crossing your right knee over your left knee and taking the knees over to the left. You might want to support underneath there with a bolster or something else. Just kind of see what feels best on your back. Feel free, it's always nice here as we are winding down to just close the eyes and just begin that process of moving into a place of stillness. Just honing our ability to remain present. You don't always have to be thinking about or judging what's happening, what we're experiencing. But moving into that place where we're just simply noticing. Just taking it in. And we're going to slowly bring this twist over to the other side. Take your time, maybe pause in the middle. Just pedal the knees a little bit and the feet. And then whenever you're ready, take it over to your right side. So if you're coming into this twist and the knees and the shins are stacked, sometimes it feels good to have a little padding in between. If you have something available, you could put a pillow or a bolster between the knees. If it feels okay for your shoulder, that left arm reaching out and away. Turning the back so the back of the hand is resting on the floor. Releasing all the tension in the other areas of your body. Right? There's a certain amount of tension that we're feeling right now because we're in a twist. We're feeling it in the back, but just These areas where we tend to unconsciously hold. Maybe it's the shoulders for you, perhaps it's your neck, maybe it's your jaw. You know, sometimes we clench our teeth. We don't even realize we're doing it. Just take one more breath there where you are. Slowly come back to center, one leg at a time. And you might want to squeeze the knees into the chest one last time, maybe rock, maybe take happy baby. You could reach up, grab your heels or the outer feet. All right. And go ahead and just find a comfortable position on your back. Feel free to stretch your legs out. If you have something you want to support underneath the back of your knees, if you have a bolster, that's a really nice way, a wonderful way to support your lower back. So it just takes a little bit of the pressure off, just to have that little bit of space there. Otherwise, you could always bend the knees. If you take your feet wide and let the knees knock together, then you don't have to really work very hard to hold the knees there. Let your eyes close. All the work is done. There's nothing to do here in this moment. You don't need to fix anything or change anything. You don't even have to be responsible for anything in this moment. Simply be at rest. And just allowing your tongue, the root of your tongue, to relax and release. Little space between your teeth, upper and lower. You can feel gravity when you really relax the jaw. Lower jaw just naturally kind of starts to recede back toward the floor, toward the earth underneath you. Just feeling the moment. Those of you that are at home, if you have more time and you wish to remain on your mat and stay in Shavasana longer, I want you to feel free to stay there as long as you need to. time, just slowly bringing yourself back. Perhaps just by deepening your breath. Just whenever you feel ready, in whatever way feels most natural, you can slowly begin to transition onto your side. Say goodbye to those of you at home. It has been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me this evening.